Welcome back, 521 on this Friday morning. Time to get our end of the week Ag News and check in with, oh, he's there. Bob Bosold is there this
Well,
morning.
where would you think I would
Well,
be?
I don't know. I mean, you weren't there Wednesday.
No, I wasn't, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But I'm here today. That's what counts. Hey, you guys, both you and Mike have been to Alaska.
Yes.
I'm going over to Altoona tomorrow. They got that they have that ginormous pumpkin contest over in Altoona tomorrow. It reminds you of being in Alaska, doesn't it? Seeing all those big vegetables and things like that. So I'm going over there to take a look at that.
Veggies on steroids, right?
Yeah, that's right. Pumpkins on steroids. But they're big.
They are huge.
Yeah, so that's tomorrow morning. But what's going on this morning? Let's take a look at our agricultural news. The Biden administration is going forward with more clean energy projects around the country with a total price tag more than $248 million, including some projects here in Wisconsin. Now, those projects are designed to create jobs and lower energy costs for farms, rural homes, and small businesses. Dairyland Power Cooperative is planning to use $15.6 million to finance and install new power generation equipment at 2 sites in its service area in western Wisconsin. It will provide electricity to up to about 1,000 homes. Also in Wisconsin, Stag Moose Solar, which is actually headquartered down in Sun Prairie, plans to use almost $76 million to build 22 ground-mounted solar fields that will produce over 62 megawatts of renewable energy in Wisconsin, Iowa, and Minnesota, including a solar facility, about 25 acres up in Barron County, right around the town of Barron. Well, it's only been 3 days, but Canadian grain farmers are already feeling the hit from a dock worker strike in Vancouver in Western Canada. 600 workers at 6 grain elevators walked off their jobs earlier this week over disagreements with management on issues like wages, pensions, and overtime pay. Now, those elevators normally load about 100,000 metric tons of grain onto ships every day. Terminal officials say losses are adding up to around $35 million a day, since Canada is the world's top canola exporter and the number 3 wheat exporter in the world. Canadian federal mediators have been called in to hopefully settle that strike soon. And the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection down in Madison has released the results of its 2024 Dairy Producer Survey. The survey asked 34 questions relating to marketing, conservation practices, business structure on our dairy farms, labor, and succession planning. Over 1,600 dairy operators did respond to that survey, about 30% of the dairy farms here in Wisconsin. Among other things, the survey found 99% of state dairy farms call themselves family farms, and 81% expect to still be in the dairy business in the next 5 years. Well, the Golden Age, that's the theme of this year's World Dairy Expo in Madison. The show will really kick off tomorrow morning with the youth fitting competition, and it will wrap up on Friday afternoon with the naming of the Supreme Champion Dairy Animals of North America. Over 2,500 dairy animals from 36 states and 5 Canadian provinces will be on the colored shavings. And there's also about 650 commercial exhibitors from over 25 countries expected at this year's show. It's going to be another big one. Well, let's go to the markets where the prices were down yesterday. Harvest pressure and lower oil markets. Overnight, December corn down a fraction at $4.12, the wheat down 4 cents, and November soybeans up a nickel. Dairy markets, the shine is coming off the cheese prices a little bit and butter, but still not bad. Barrel cheese down 2 3/4 yesterday to $2.40. Blocks down 3 cents, butter down 7. Class 3 futures, the near months were a little lower. September down 4, October down 13, November down a dime, as prices did soften up a little bit. Excuse me. And again, Bob, I was talking to a buddy of mine, a big Brewer fan. He says, you know what would be appropriate for the opening game of the playoffs next week?
What's that?
Have Craig Counsell throw out the first
ball.
Boy. I thought it was a pretty good idea, didn't you?
That or he could roll out the trash or something.
Well, he lives in Milwaukee. He doesn't have far to go.
Oh, boy.
Just a thought.
Just a thought.
Ponder it over the weekend and have a good one.
See you, Bob.